Hello, everyone. It is Saturday, the 28th of December, 2018. It's coming up. The year 2019 is coming up. 2019, folks, I promise you, is going to be a history-making year. You know, I've tried to tell people for many years, we're in a paradigm shift. Paradigm shift. And my version of what that means, we're at a point where this country's got one of two paths to go. It will go towards the socialist country that we don't want, or somehow we rally together and we're able to maintain our way of life. A paradigm shift. It happens very seldom in history do you have paradigm shifts, and especially ones as great as this one. Now you may wonder, well, aren't you over-dramatizing this? Well, my opinion is when you look out and you see the expansion of China's military strength and might, taking over islands, expanding their territories and their weaponry, and then when you look at Russia, look what they're doing to work on their weapons and equipment. Why? I believe to a great part, if not the whole part, they anticipate us falling in this paradigm. You know, you got to think about being in their shoes. If America, as we've known it to be, collapses, what does that mean to the world? So it looks to me like others around the world are seeing what I see and what I hope you see, and are just as concerned for the future as we are, or I am. Guys, it's an honor. It's an honor to be where we are today. Me and you, all of you. We're in a place where we get to participate in one of the greatest paradigm shifts the globe has ever seen, and we get to be in it. We get to participate in it. Yes, it hurts. Yes, it's tough. But think about the gift God gave us. He gave us a chance to be here at this exact moment in time, giving us a chance right now to fight, to earn once again that which our founding fathers gave us. Now, I'm not going to tell you a bunch of craziness. I've tried to avoid that. You know, I've always worried about people that go on the radio or internet, whatever you call it, and sensationalize. There's a sensational story here, a sensational story there. The problem, folks, is in the broadcast work, every day is not going to be some sensational shoe-dropping event. It's just not. So what happens all too often is people pick up conspiracies, and the ones that sell, they move. The ones that have legs, meaning people are really enjoying listening to them, they take them on. But guys, that's not the truth. That is not the truth. That's entertainment. When I tell you we're in a paradigm shift, look around. See it for yourself. Things you used to believe and know, they don't exist now, or they're changed now. They're different. The other countries are doing it. We've got to realize this is an incredible moment. But if we do not seize it, if we do not claim it, It will be lost forever. For us, there will be a day, I'm sure, some years in the future, with our grandchildren, probably not even our children, but our grandchildren, where it will rot and die, just like Venezuela and other places that it's been. You know, I never thought when I was growing up that we could ever in America be stupid as the Germans, for example, you know. How could we be that stupid? When Hitler was doing all of this gassing the Jews and killing everybody and taking over the country, how could the German people, who are great builders, geniuses, how could that go on right under their nose and they not see it? They could have stopped him, but they didn't. And I've always thought, boy, that something was wrong with them. No, folks, let me tell you. It's happening to us today as a nation. We're being lied to. We're being led around by the nose, and yet we're doing nothing about it. Nothing. So tell me what makes us so special compared to the Germans back during the late 30s and 40s. What? Do we have to literally once again repeat history to the point to where millions and millions of people are either killed in war or starved? Do we? Well, that's where we're headed. Now, January the 3rd, when the Democrats take over in Washington, that's a triggering moment. Triggering moment. We're actually in this coup. But some people think, well, we're in the coup. And finally, people are acknowledging that we're in a coup, but they think we're in this coup and we're in the middle of it, et cetera, et cetera. No, 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 no. A coup, whether it be silent or the armed coup, has three phases: beginning, middle, and end. The beginning's when everything is done to take over. That's when they take over. The middle is now that they have control. They set up and run it. And the end is what always happens. Always. It crumbles. If you don't believe me, look at guys like Alexander Tytler. He was talking about democracies, how they fail over and over. And then he did a thing called the clock. Look it up. And it's always the same throughout history. Well, guys, we're not in the middle of the coup. Silent coup. We're not in the middle. We're at the end of the beginning. And when the beginning part stops, it's too late. Right now is the only time we have in the natural chronology of coups and or governments in history, etc. Right now is the only time we have to stop it. This is it. And what's neat about this is this coup, this transformation of our form of government hinges on one person, President Donald Trump. But I always try to remind you, and as you talk to people, remind them, it's not Donald Trump that they hate. And they call all these horrible names and make up all these lies and allegations. You know, maybe there is stuff he's done. All I can tell you is I judge him by being what he was elected to be, president. But it's not him. That he represents us. Can you not understand that? He represents us. And by that I mean the progressives, or what you might call deep staters. They absolutely, positively will not allow we, the people, to have any say in our government. Just won't happen. Just won't happen. And they got it fixed, buddy. Let's just say there's three branches of government: executive, legislative, and judicial. Well, they got two of them. The only one left's executive. That's where we must make our stand. That's our Alamo. President Trump is our Alamo. Now, I'm not going to tell you that I'm some kind of super whiz-bang genius, because I assure you I am not. And let me just be more than openly honest to you. I'm just one man, just like the men out there listening to me, and the women. I'm not a woman, but you know what I mean. I'm just one guy, just one guy. I have no power. I have no money. I have no gifts of miracles that I know of that allow me to poof something and make it happen. I'm just like you. That's all I am. I'm just like you. The difference between me and you, however, is once before, some 30 years ago or thereabouts, I was the same me, probably worse me, because nobody even knew who I was, period. And I had to fight the most powerful couple in the history of the world, Bill and Hillary Clinton. And I at least proved to myself, if not to all of you, that, you know, if I just stay the course and stay at it and tell the truth and just don't get crazy on us, you know what, I believe I helped, and I think history will show I helped in getting Bill Clinton impeached. That don't mean nothing. You're only as good as your last trick in marketing, of course. Meaning, just because you did something back then don't mean you can do it again today. I understand that. You must understand that. But it did instill in me a strength that I know this day that one man can make a difference. One man can make a difference. Let me tell you briefly what this country is going to turn to. Now, some of the business aspects of once they take over, that's not my part. I never had anything to do with it, so I can't tell you necessarily with certainty what will happen on how they run things, the business end of it. I can tell you pretty much exactly structurally what's going to happen. You want to hear it? It's kind of a nightmare. If they get rid, hypothetically, this is hypothetical, if they get rid of President Trump, if they impeach him, we are in the middle of the most chaotic state in this nation probably since the Civil War. And feelings, nerves, hearts, it's just about to the point where something's got to break. President Trump said something, I think, in a tweet. I did not see it, but I've heard about it, that, you know, if he gets impeached, people will revolt. There will be some form of revolt. It will just go into a much greater chaotic state. Won't be as much people revolting as you would think. It's not going to be the kind of revolt you're thinking of, but it will be just enough. You see, the progressives or the bad guys, they don't need a big revolt. They just need a little revolt, whether it really happens or it doesn't, as a matter of fact, to be able to enforce FEMA provisional government rules. What do I mean there? That's been long on the books, long on the books. And in time of a national emergency, they trigger this thing called FEMA, the FEMA Provisional Government Plan, and we're out of business as a nation, and the government has changed. For example, it'll go to a 16th century style of government. You know, when they had dukes, earls, kings, queens, etc. So the way this one was laid out, or will be laid out, is the president at the time will become basically the king. All the senators and congressmen, they won't be able to stay in Washington. They'll be sent back to their home states and districts, and that's where they'll stay because they will represent the government to the people there. See how that works? We'll be cut off from the decisions about our country. These guys will be sent simply to be big fish in little ponds. And we will soon, because, and this is coming, you'll see it here very soon, and this is prior to the actual takeover, but here pretty soon you're going to hear, well, gosh, Congress is so backed up left and right, and Republican, Democrat, and nothing's getting done, nothing can get done. We've reached a point to where it's over. We just can't go forward. So therefore, we've got to come up with a new form of government. And they're probably right about Washington the way it is today. It is ruined. We've ruined it just sure as the world. But I don't know that going to a high government like in the 16th century is any better or anywhere near better. That's what they're going to claim. We're done. Then they're going to claim that elections, there's no way to get true and fair elections today because of the computer, et cetera, et cetera. So what they're going to do there, they're going to vote so that, guess what? Your senators and congressmen will be voting for who's going to be president. The governor is going to vote on who gets to be senator and congressman. And then to work its way down to state, local, county, and city. It's a terrifying thought. But the thing that terrifies me the most, and I swear to you, I can see the emblem or the label or the image. The socialist nations of America will be our new name. The socialist nations of America. And I don't need to tell you, just looking at that title, what that means. But don't worry about borders, because there won't be any. You see, we have to be driven down. The trick to America's not like other countries in history that have been taken over. Americans have had freedom. We enjoy freedom every day. We enjoy liberty every day. Every day. Although they're shrinking, we still enjoy them. But I'll tell you what we can't do. We cannot imagine a day when you don't have them. Another one of those things where you just say can't happen. Never will happen. Well, guys, it is happening. It is happening. And it all comes down to, can we stop it or not? Can we stop it or not? Now, somebody said, okay, let's go back to step one forward. Let's say that Trump's impeached, and then the president triggers the FEMA provisional government. Who's president? Well, that obviously you think would be Pence. It may be. Maybe. I'm not so sure Pence in deep state himself. Are you? But if he's not, he'll be dismissed. I assure you, he will be dismissed. So, that is a brief, possibly even too brief and too confusing of a summary of what's coming. But here's what we've got to do. Each and every one of us, me included, have got to decide, are we just going to sit and watch, or are we going to try to stop it and save our nation? If not for us, for our children and grandchildren. Okay? That's what we got to do, each one of us. You just decide. I was very disappointed to hear that when the friends that helped me sent out emails asking for, just if everybody'd send $2 a month or whatever, we'd have enough. And the ugly responses that came back, the ugly responses, which makes me wonder. Now, let me see. I have no money. I'm trying to do what I've got to do because of what information and connections I have, which could help save us. They can. But then all these different organizations out there are raising money left and right. But when I asked for help, I'm infringing on people. Somewhere I think it said, man's worth is higher. Well, then we've lost already, even if I could make a difference, because my worth is obviously nothing. Don't send Mary Ellen and the group. Don't send them ugly emails. Don't. They're just trying to help me so that I can be in a position to try to help others. That's all it is. Don't. But folks, we're down to the cow, how the cow eats cabbage now. We're down to where the cow eats cabbage now. It's in, out, or forget it. So that you know, I intend to do everything I can to stay in and engaged in this fight. But if I can't have any money to pay bills or anything, then I'm not a fool. You better not be fooled either. Not going to be much I can do, but I will try. I swear to you, I will try, as I've done for 30 years. I would hope, damn it, that my record of telling you things that were going to happen, that did happen, all of them, they happened. I told you Jennifer Flowers, and everybody in the media said he's lying. There's no Jennifer Flowers, there's no women. Well, I did, and then it turned out it was. And then on and on and on. Whitewater, Monica, I mean, just everything, down to and including today. I was telling that when Trump takes office, they're going to impeach him. Before he ever even took office, I was telling that we were in a coup before anybody even hardly knew what the word coup meant. And on and on and on. And I would have hoped, I thought, that was my mistake, I thought that proving that I did know what was coming, and therefore by knowing what was coming, I could help us stop it. By the time you let it happen, folks, it's too late. The time to stop something is before it happens, and the only way you can be sure you have a chance of stopping something is knowing what's coming. And that's what I try to provide. So guys, my program today is simple. I'm trying to level with you. I'm trying to make you see this is so critical. It's not a game, it's not a joke, it's not entertainment, it's not a movie, it's real. And I want all of you that think I'm 10 foot tall, blonde-headed, and built like a Greek god and can jump buildings with a single bound. I'm not. I'm a 68-year-old man, just about spent. Just about spent. But as Dr. Warren said, or is reported to have said, at his death in the Revolutionary War, no sweeter death than to die for your country. Well, when I die, which will come, I assume, reasonably soon, one way or the other, I'm going to at least have the right to say it's been a sweet death because I'm fighting for my country. I'm just ashamed that I was not able to do it well enough. I'm ashamed that I was not good enough to get your support or anybody's support. I'm ashamed. I'm ashamed that my part I failed. But I intend to be a part of this paradigm. I intend to see it through, no matter what. But it would sure be worthy of you, each one of you, to pick something, not me, you don't have to pick me, pick someone that you believe is doing right. Okay, someone that's doing something to try to save this country, not just aggregate the different crap that's out there on the internet and put it all together and regurgitate it again for you. That's not what you support. You support people that are trying aggressively to save this country, to save President Trump. That's what you got to do. So if you don't want to help me, at least help one of them, someone else, someone that has a plan. Now with that, I'm going to ask you, I need your help today. I mean, really need your help today. And there's going to be several thousand of you that hear this. Several thousand. Just help. Go to PayPal Nichols Live at AOL.com, or you can go to the web page and look around there and you'll see the address. But if you send it in the address, send cash, not checks. So folks, Nichols Live at AOL.com. It's time. It's time we all make a decision, and don't send ugly emails to Mary Ellen and the team. If you want to send an ugly email, my PayPal account is my email account. Send them to me. I'm the one you should be ugly to, not them. So with that, folks, we'll talk again.